Hello, friends. It's another epic episode of the Mindfulness Advantage Show where we have essential conversations with people just like you achieving the extraordinary. Mia and I have been dancing with some great Google gremlins. As you can see, I'm honorary tiara wearer today.
I loves it.
We nearly weren't sure we were going to even get in and go live. But so the reality here is this show is very much devoted to creating conversations, content, ideas, being provocative in a way that's share-worthy and worth your time in the live show and also in the replay. So I'm really honored today to have Mia Voss here, our friend, as my featured guest. We're going to jump into a conversation with Mia in just a minute, right after our opening segment, First Words. Part of what we're talking about today, friends, is age. And it really just is a number. More importantly, whatever story we have and entertain about our particular number determines the quality, vitality, and the enthusiasm we have or that we are missing in our lives every day. So what's your particular story this day? And by the way, how's that working for you? No matter what your story or age or your current state, status, or condition, you, yes, you can at any time edit, upgrade, or completely rewrite your story. Period. That sounds pretty damn good, right? Our friend Mia Voss is about to cross a threshold. 50 years of walking, living, breathing, laughing, loving, loss, grieving, learning, greatness, and gratitude. Yeah, it's still just a number, and Mia has chosen to make her 50th year on the planet more than just a number. She's making 50 a rite of passage. Mia's making turning the corner on 50 look good.
I hope so.
The mindset here, what our friend Mia is modeling for herself and for anyone who wants to come along for the ride, is quite simply bringing greater depth, meaning an authentic relationship to the myriad of moments that unfold for us within our lives. Rather than run from or with the clock and calendar or chase after elusive future moments, we each have our own unique opportunity to pour ourselves so fully into this moment right here, right now, to such great effect that our lives become a true and literal feast. Now that's a story worth writing, worth reading, and worth living. Now, committing to exploring our life and living in such a grand manner, that by itself is already pretty kick-ass. The fact is, our friend Mia is indeed inviting you and I along for the ride on her first of many adventures, celebrating 50 years on the planet beginning March 20th. It's an American in Italy 5.0. That's what you might call a gourmet recipe for an Italian casserole. Boom.
Casserole, I love it.
So here on our show today, me and I are inviting you to join us in a conversation and exploration of reclaiming your full authority and authorship of the life you've always envisioned and dreamed of making each day your ceremony and your celebration of life. There are, for each of us, so many turning points, each moment a potential rite of passage, play, and passion. So hunker down with us for a bit, pick up your pens and pencils, grab a stack of blank pages. Welcome to your new story, and welcome to your new playground and your next and greatest adventure. Join me today in welcoming our delightful friend, like a boss, Mia Voss. Welcome to the show, Mia.
Brother. That was awesome. That was so eloquent.
Thank you. I am a wordsmithy.
Yes, you are.
And just give a shout out for men who are comfortable with their feminine side.
I just am loving it.
So part of the train wreck that we waded through to get on air was that Mia had to sign in as a different Mia, and she can't access the effects. So I am wearing the tiara.
It's naked Mia.
Huh?
I'm naked Mia. I got nothing. I got no lower third. I got no
Man,
tiara.
if I knew that, we could have promoted the hell out of that for the last week and get some serious numbers. So, all right. So, Mia, let's dive in. Let's get this party started. You know, one of the things I love to do is really share human stories here. And as soon as I found out what you're doing, what you've been planning, and how long you've been planning, it just lit me up because I am, like you said in our private call the other day, you're a systems person, and so am I. So strategy, long-tail strategies are really important. It's part of our building, not just a vision, but our new vision, our biggest vision, the one that scares us a little and pastes our ears back. So you're fixing to go to Italy in 4 or 5 days. Talk a little bit about the origins of your vision, how long. I know you've been planning this for at least 6 months. So just give us a personal spin on how you're doing this, why you're doing it, and what the miracles are that you're encountering along the way.
I don't know if the camera was on me before. I'm just grinning. I'm just cracking up. I'm like, first of all, because you said it the way I said it, which is Italy. I'm going to Italy. Yeah, it's been fun to share with you the way this journey has started. But honestly, I came up with the idea to go to Italy for my 50th, which is 50. Hold on a second. How do I say it? 50. Right now I'm 49. Now I'm 49. 50. See, I only know a few words. It's gonna be interesting. I came up with this idea. I think about 2.5 years ago. I was involved with a mastermind group here. One of their big things was talking about coming up with what's called a BMD. I better follow up and see what that is. And which is what they were calling a business maturity date, which is when your business was set up so that you could go away for 4 or 5 weeks and not have to worry about things. So that's what I was reaching for, and I always said I was going to be in Italy on my 50th, 6:17 p.m. March 22nd, right? Because that's when I was born, in Urbana, Illinois. Little FYI. So so I had that date, and then I ended up breaking up with the mastermind group last year, quite violently, kind of like, I don't like you. I'm just not that into you. But I kept that date in my head. But my business was not at a point where I was like, oh gosh, I'll be, sailing off into the sunset. I mean, my life looks completely different than when I originally planned this trip for 50.
As often is the case,
Be comfortable
we get an original seed of the vision, and this is a really important piece, I think, is not to be so rigid or put your kung fu death grip on your vision, because as we evolve, so does our vision, and quite often when we allow that flexibility, our vision gets mo better, gooder, bigger, and shinier.
It does get mo better, gooder. And you know what? I can't even fix my camera right now, so you're kind of like seeing behind the curtain.
Hey, baby, we are live and raw and real today.
Faux reals.
I'm kind of liking the tiara, man. My head's all tingly up here.
It's good, isn't it? Feel the power.
I feel like there's some kind of juju initiation happening to me here.
There totally is. I'm
telling you. Oh my God!
I'm glad to share.
Wait. Oh yes. My God! I'm getting Mia-fied.
You got Mia punched.
Poof.
Well, bam.
All right. So keep going.
So yeah. Then about 6 months ago, I think people have probably heard me say this, but a lot of times when new ideas come to me, it's in the shower. It's very odd. I feel like my counsel talks to me in the shower. It's kind of crowded in there. And I had this idea. I was like, I really want to go to Italy. And I have to give a shout out to Nazim Beltran, because he really is one of the reasons, being friends with him on Google Plus has been one of the reasons that got me so fired up about Italy again. With Casa Chiesi, we get these, you get this great snapshot into a country that I've always been fascinated with. I went there in '92, and I was really, really ready to go back. So yeah, I was in the shower, and I was like, ooh, I know what I'll do. I'll figure out a way to make this a sponsored trip or something where, as I'm going, I'm sharing my vision and the journey along with me, mainly just eating and drinking my way through Italy.
And let me jump in. How brilliant is that to have a strategy where you get paid to celebrate your birthday? I mean, dual, triple purposes, it's great, it's brilliant. Why not? I had a conversation with a couple of my roomies here in Boulder yesterday, and it was one I dusted off from a long time ago. You don't get stuff unless you ask for it.
Well, yeah, you got to be kind of ballsy.
You got to grow the big furry one. So sorry. I never said this was a G-rated show.
Because I wouldn't fit in.
Yeah. So you asked for it. You had your vision.
Yeah.
And then this year you really started building towards it. What, about 6 months ago?
Yeah, that's when the idea came along of, well, why not make this happen? Let's take it along with it, and that started to feel that value that I bring with my show or my audience, or the perspective that I bring. I thought, let me bring this kind of fun perspective. And of course, then there's the idea too of sort of being out loud and proud and out of the closet about hey, I'm 50. A lot of people start to shrink from it. Even I did. I mean, I think you and I were having a conversation the other day, and you said something about 50, and I did this. I was like, who's he talking to?
Yeah, I thought she was
just bitch slaps you.
I thought you were gonna reach through the screen and bitch slap me for sure. Seriously.
Well,
who are you talking to? I'm like, you.
Yeah, that me. Yeah, that me. So yeah, and along the way, it's steamrolled into, of course, of talking to different companies, and it's been quite an odyssey. A lot of changes, a lot of stops and starts, and along the way, I've picked up a team of people that I said, do you want to partner with me on this? And it's beneficial. What is it? Yeah, I love you've been saying it when we've been talking this week. Is we're on the playground, and it's beneficial for everyone.
Yes. And, I'm not kidding, friends, in the language and first words. This is a great adventure that we get to ride along with Mia. And, yeah, there's a business strategy here. But what we're going to get into after the show ID here and some shout-outs is the hero's journey, or in Mia's case, the shero's journey.
Jace.
Because, and thank you for doing this, what Mia is modeling is a long tail strategy, building a vision. She had an idea. I want to rock it on my 50th and be in Italy. So we're going to come back to that idea and the shero's journey in just a second, but let's do some shout outs.
Okay.
Karen V. Chin is in the house.
Hi, girlfriend.
Hang on here. Look at this. Look at this.
I see.
Is it going to work? There it is. Karen V. Chin.
I did too, Karen.
Fuzzy ones. I choked up my water, George. Well, Karen, at least you didn't blow it out your nose, so that's cool.
And then that's when we can say D's nuts. Sorry.
Okay. No apologies. I'm getting my full silver-haired goober on today. Let's see what else. Dave Pipe is in the house across the pond in Sussex.
Mm-hmm.
Nazim is in the house.
Oh, he is. Hi, brother.
Yeah, hey, man. And he says, George Green looking great with that tiara.
He sure is.
Stealing from Mia Voss's playbook. No, I just got sister's back. That's all, man. If she can't wear the tiara, we got to bring it. So, and I feel like a man.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's manly in it.
With my
tiara here somewhere,
and it goes with my shiny hair.
Yes, it does.
Right, so you are watching the Mindfulness Advantage Show. I'm your host, George E. Green, and we're talking to Mia Like a Boss Voss about her amazing adventure, excellent adventure, going to Italy. A couple of more quick ones here. Let's see. Kim Armstrong is in the house.
Hi, girlfriend.
Who else? Mike Bays.
Mike Bays, brother. I'm gonna see him on Saturday.
CLB, my sister from a different mister.
The CLB.
She says LOL. Hubby and I say Italy too. All right, so let's get back to, hang on, what did I do? There we go. Get back to business here and back to your hero's, Shiro's journey.
Do you see my little, even my microphone agrees.
Let's see.
It's got his little hero mask on.
All right, yeah, all we need is the cape now, and we're good to go. So, you know, the point of our conversation here, friends, is to invite you and ourselves to remind ourselves that life is and can be a sacred journey, a ceremony. Any moment can be a ceremony. And part of what I call our new playground is stepping off the old battlefield and stepping onto a playground where everybody plays and everybody wins. And we're steeped in this mythos, thanks to Joe Campbell of the hero's journey. It's in all the best movies, and it's in all of our lives. And right now, Mia, you are throwing down. You've called up your courage, your vision, and you had a really human moment. You were like, this is kind of crazy what I'm doing, and there's a little bit of maybe fear and resistance, but this is part of our superhero heroine journey, is just busting a move and saying, I'm doing this. And I've had a couple of experiences throughout my life, a handful, where I just made the decision, and that was it. It was on. So talk a little bit about how your trip is a personal renewal.
Likey. You notice how I had to stage up the Yay Wine sign. In fact, I need to go have it laminated today because that thing is going to get beat up.
It's going with.
It's going with, and it's going to be featured quite a bit. Let's see. Yeah, you know what? I definitely felt like this. Again, like I said, this really was germinated in my head. 2.5 years ago, and it sat there. And again, it got revived 6 months ago. And so, I really have been curious and thinking a lot about, what it's like to. I mean, I'm sure anybody who's out there that's in their 40s, you get to that certain age, you're like, how the hell did I get here? Like, this is not what I envisioned when I was 20 or 25, what 40, 45, or 50 would look like. It seemed a lot older, right? It seemed a lot more staid and serious, and I get a lot of people are like, you don't seem your age, and I think it's just because I'm an absolute goofball, and I've really learned to embrace that. Which, by the way, the other thing that's really naked about me is that I can't put the filter on. You guys know from Google Hangouts you can put that filter on where you can go like smooth and all that. Mama ain't even smooth. Like, you're seriously getting the most naked Mia you've ever seen.
Wow.
With clothes on. So, right?
Yeah.
What is on the bottom? But yeah, so I've really been just sort of studying this whole thing about, and been really looking at like the aging thing, and then aging as a female. I mean, this is just a really, this is the time when when this age and this gender starts getting put out to pasture for anything that's
in the past. Let's
in the past.
Let's
right.
decree that right now, because
that's right. Because you're looking at it. You're looking at that. That is in the past. Because I'm out loud and proud.
Bring it.
I hear ya. So it's just been interesting to sort of to look at that, and I think it's just because I have been in the public eye-ish with having the show for the last 1.5 years, and generally anything that is in that's on camera tends to be more of a, oh, Debbie Davis, I was pinging her about, she's out there, hi girlfriend, I made it in, because I was trying to, she's my problem solver. If there's a problem, Debbie Davis will solve it.
That's right.
I'm just saying. Hopefully she's seeing that. But yeah,
she brings the skills.
She does, mad skills. But so that's been part of it too, is what I started thinking about when I was building this journey is, hashtag 50 in 2015, but really of like, hey, this is what this is what 50 looks like, and this is what it looks like as a female. And when I originally planned this trip, I was also not going by myself. Well, now I'm going by myself. So, as a woman traveling alone and deciding to say, like, hey, one, I'm turning 50, two, I'm turning 50, and I'm going somewhere, by myself.
Well, and here's the reality here. I love this part of the story because this is now purely your Shiro's journey. And this is you stepping into a greater, more magnificent role as a woman who is 50. And let's face it, whatever the cultural norms are in our country, it's effed up when it comes to gender and gender relationships, and how we as a culture are in relationship with women and the feminine. And the tide is turning. There are some amazing groups and nonprofits and just individuals like yourself who are redefining what it is to be first a human being that's awake, aware, and alive and busting a move, but then a woman. And it's really important to sort of mirror back to what I said in the open, which is any of us at any time can just decide that we're picking up the pen and the blank sheet, and it's what I say, we claim our authority, our sovereignty, to be the author of our brand new life. And that's why I'm loving having our conversation today and learning more about who you are and how you play, because you're modeling it. When we first had our first conversation, I thanked you for being a model of being a badass woman and a woman with vision, willing to hang it out in the breeze and go for it. So you have lots of love and support from friends and your extended family, and we're going to jump back into comments for a second here.
Okay.
Again, you're watching the Mindfulness Advantage show, and we have our sweet friend Mia Voss on the program today. She is getting on a plane in 4 days. You're going to L.A., New York, and then...
I'm going to New York first.
Okay.
And that actually, I told you yesterday, has a wonderful symmetry to it as well, because I moved here from New York exactly 20 years ago this past Saturday.
Okay. Yeah.
And so now I'm going back to my old stomping ground. I lived there for 8 years.
Excellent.
Wonderful time. So I'm launching from New York and then off to Italy.
Yay. So here we go with a few comments, friends.
Yes,
Nazim, brother Nazim, rocking it over in Italy, says, so true, George Green, more power to females.
He embodies that.
Yeah, here is the reality, friends, and that is the more we cherish and empower our mothers, our sisters, our girlfriends, our exes, I might make you blush a little bit, but you are a walking miracle. Women, in general, you specifically, Mia, because whether you have a child or not, you have the ability to carry a life and bring it into the world. And we look at, some of the offshore cultures that are really stuck in the, the Middle Ages or caveman days, and we're not doing all that better here. But when we cherish and stand up for and be a warrior for the feminine, for our women in our lives, we all thrive.
Yes.
The majority of our troubles have everything to do with being steeped in dysfunctional roles as men and women that are based on difference. John Gray is brilliant. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. But the reality is we don't speak Venusian or Martian. We were born here on this planet, and we were born to be partners. All right, so thank you, Nazim. What else do we have here? CLB says, indeed, George Green, our lives are a lifelong masterpiece that we have the privilege to co-create.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that is so true. One
Yes.
of the things that a fire that we're feeding, me and I are feeding, is this new reality of playing to win.
Yes.
Where we show up, and the first thing I want to know is how can I support your vision, Mia? And Mia says the same thing back to me. The more we orient ourselves to collaboration and service, the more we're going to create the tipping point that we all pray for and require, which is to shift the balance in on the planet, start living more conscious lives, where we care for each other and we care for the legacy we leave for our children or our extended family's children. So,
Amen to
uh,
that.
yeah. So let's rock back to your Shiro's journey. I'm just going to circle back and make these points and let you rock from there. Is
Okay.
what you created in your life, even with painful separations and redefining relationships and friendships, is a courageous move because you're not sharing this journey. This is your journey. This is your imagination. This is your creation. And you're planting the seeds for a magnificent ride that starts today, right now. And Italy is just the tip of the iceberg. So talk about what your personal vision is in terms of really living an adventure now that in just a few days you're going to turn the corner on 50.
It's big. We've been talking about, and guys, just so you know, George and I have had a ton of conversations this week, so I feel like this is an extension of all these hangouts that we've been having. But you guys know how that works because all y'all that are out there in the audience, I know we're always all chitter chattering and growing visions. I will say, to go back to, I'm definitely making shit up as I go along with this whole thing. But that's really fun. Whoop whoop, right? Holla. I mean, that's been fun to just sort of be like, oh, F it. Like, let's just go with the ride. Why not? Why not just kind of make this up and dream it up? I will say that even this, and a couple people out there in the audience know this. Even as a couple weeks ago, this thing almost didn't go. I had something pretty traumatic happen, and I almost canceled it. I was so knocked flat on my ass, and got back up. And anybody that I say that to, they're like, oh my God, I can't imagine that you were considering that. But when you're kind of in that low, you're like, ugh, I don't have that nutsack to do this.
All right, let me jump in. This is really important because,
Yep.
and we've talked about this a couple of times already in our conversations.
And Brother Shannon says, Italy.
Italy. And here's the reality: is anytime we really step out of our zones of familiarity and comfort, which is what is required when we're a visionary. When we first, our big ideas are ideas that inspire other people, first and foremost, and we inspire ourselves to live outside the box, to really surrender our will, our doubt, and our fear to whatever higher power you're in relationship with, whether it's God or Bob or the rock next door.
It's God and Bob.
Yeah, God and Bob. And so, yeah, when we embrace our visions, they're going to be scary. We're going to have resistance. Sometimes we'll manifest or remanifest some original trauma. That's part of the journey of traveling light. And we're required to travel light, to step into the fulfillment and the fruition of our dreams, our visions, and our biggest outcomes. And so that's why we're playing today, is first to plant those seeds.
Yeah.
With you, our friends out there on the interwebs, and inspire you to get crazy, bust a move.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Mia's doing, and again, I thank you for modeling that for me. It's been inspiring. In our association, we talked about this too, I'm reminded of who I am and why I'm here. That happens when we drop everything and serve someone else in their moment. And indeed, we need to be asked. It's not up to me to jump in. I'm not a white knight. What I am is a silver-haired goober.
Mm-hmm.
But I am a friend, I love my friends, my extended family, and my training as a warrior is when somebody's in need, that's when I show up. If they say help, here's the hand. And again, that's part of the win-win on the new playground. So jump on in there, Mia. Talk about
Yeah.
how this vision is growing even in real time, in the moment. You
It is.
you keep getting
It is
these
real
little
time.
surprises, right?
It is. And you know what I love that you brought up, and I was just nodding and nodding, is the traveling light. That is a huge, huge theme for me, even in the last 5 or 6 years. I went through a divorce about. mm, I got to ask my husband, but I think it was about 7 years ago. But we're still in contact because he's my beagle daddy, and we share custody of my beagle.
All right.
And it's very and it's great because now I'm going to go away for 3 weeks, and I told the husband and the new Mia, because his new wife's name is Mia, so
Oh
she
boy.
is the new Mia. I'm going away for 3 weeks. Can you guys take the beagle? And so even from that divorce, when I first got divorced, I bought this huge house, had all this furniture, and then I realized like a couple years later, I'm like, Jesus, I have this house. I literally have a house for my shit, for my furniture, right?
Yeah,
When you
yeah.
get that reality check, you're like, I had this conversation. I was telling Shannon about this the other day, and so since then, I have done this continual paring down in the last 3 or 4 years on a personal level of belongings and items and things like that. And so literally getting to this point this year, it's all coinciding. I really do plan on a business and personal level making this about traveling around. I mean, if anything, going and interviewing people who turned 50 this year, or making that an interview series, or being a brand ambassador where I'm going around. My big vision, if you really want to know, like what my big, if I had the magic wand, would just to be
I do.
yeah, right, buzz that bad mofo out. Is to have a show, like literally just a show where I get to travel around. I have my show now, but literally either on a network or on clearly on YouTube, and just traveling around and just talking to cool people, doing cool shit, which is what I love. And because I've chosen to really make the concerted effort to jettison a lot of belongings and things that are not
Attachments.
attachments, things that aren't serving me. There's some crazy attachments. And you think, at this age, like this is when, the traditional idea is the settling down. I don't have children, and I'm totally cool with that. I just kind of forgot to. But, I'm totally fine with that. I figured, my friends' kids are going to take care of me. I'm going to be crazy Aunt Mia. They're going
There
to
you
build
go.
one of those little tiny houses for me with a porch and a big recycling bin for all my wine bottles,
Nice.
right? But now that I've kind of flipped that script and made it not about the house and the belongings. I mean, literally, I'm planning on and I'm kind of outing this plan. So Ifat, I apologize if you didn't want me to tell anybody, but I'm planning on traveling down to Austin when my lease is up on my current place, and just going and hanging out in Austin and with Ifat and Crystal and Artemis and some other folks that are down there, and getting some shit done down there, and like.
Well, and I'm an Austin expat. I've been in Colorado going on 2 years in June, and
You do have a Texas number, that's right.
that's right. I do have a little bit of that twang, and we talked about the Texas
Mm-hmm.
language down there with the might
So,
coulds and better don'ts. And
yeah.
sorry, I
I
touched
might could
over
want
the
to go to
salt.
Austin for a month. That's what's happening.
Man, it's happening. And
Yeah.
when is your lease up?
It's up at the end of May, so just I'm really open to it. Once and I want to encourage everybody, like whatever that looks, smells, and feels like for you is just and entertain it. I mean, it's really fun to kind of, we were talking about the fear factor, George, in our private conversations about there's the fear, and then there's that excitement of that flipping that fear so that it's excitement,
Enthusiasm.
enthusiasm,
Yeah.
that roller coaster thing, or that jumping out of a plane thing. You're scared to death, but then on the way down it's great, and then when you're down, then you're done with that. You're at the end of the roller coaster, at the end of the jump. You're like, oh my god, I want to do that again. Right, most of the time,
I
except
think
for
it's
that thing on top of the building in Vegas. I don't ever want to do that.
no,
It
that
scares the
makes
shit
me
out of
throw up a little in my mouth
me. In
just
my mouth,
looking at
yeah,
it.
in
No,
your mouth.
thank you. So I think it's really important to make a point here, because often we we separate ourselves from our models, the people that show up. And Mia is modeling not only her courage and her vision, but her humanity. And this is part of our conversation earlier too. Is yeah, we're public people. We have our TV shows, pretend TV shows. But we're human. And one of the things that I say with all my client partners is that the journey that you or he is on is our journey because we're doing it together. And the reason I'm making this point is that there are thousands and millions of the next Mia or the next Geo or the next You're Frickin' Genius coming out. And sometimes we look at somebody who, and our perception is, wow, Mia, she's really crushing it. I'm not sure I could ever do what she's doing. Hell yes, you can.
Oh, thank you for saying that.
Hell yes, you can.
Everybody can. It's just going to look and smell differently, like I said.
Right. And so let's talk a little bit about, you've had a TV show or the Hangout on Air show for a year and a half, did you say?
Yeah, I think longer.
Well,
I think it's 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I hit 2 years. I did 2 years last month is when I started doing it more of an interview series. But yeah, I just went balls out on that thing too. Ball conversation today.
Yeah, balls in Italy and balls. So
balsamic.
Here's the deal: is I'm just hitting my 6-month anniversary of being a silver-haired goober on the interwebs.
Right on.
I'm just getting started. So whether you start a show or a podcast or you just have a vision to start building relationships and lifting people up, first and foremost, being in service.
Amen.
Amazing things happen. So the story we're sharing here and the invitation here is, pour some gas on that little spark of your dream. Let's get a bonfire going. Go ahead and singe the eyebrows off a little bit. They'll grow back. They will grow back. So anybody, not just anybody, can achieve what Mia is achieving now. Well, she's in the middle of a realization of her dream 2.0. There's 3, 4, 5, all, keep on counting. So if there was any primary reason for Mia and I to be talking with you today, sharing a conversation, it's just that the reason I get up in the morning is to inspire people to pace their ears back, lean into the wind, into your dreams in such a way that it feels like a ride, like a fun ride, not the kind where you throw up when you get off, but and here's another point here: enthusiasm is what we're going for.
Yes.
Excitement is a drug. Excitement, you peak and then you burn. Enthusiasm is the sustainable state of consciousness and intention. And we talked about this yesterday. If this is fear, this is enthusiasm, and enthusiasm is on the other side. So often when we're scaring the shit out of ourselves with our big ideas, all we have to do is stop and take a mindful breath and step to one side or the other and step into the enthusiasm of your vision as it unfolds and as it's unfolding for our friend Mia here. Quick station ID, this is the Mindfulness Advantage Show. It's another epic episode with our sister from a different Mr. Mia Voss. And let's see what we've got going on here in comments. Sheila Hensley is in the house. Hello, Mama Bear.
Hey, girlfriend. Love her.
Karen V. Chin threw down with a great one. On the flip side of life, make every day count, because you cannot get the previous day back no matter how much money you have in the bank.
Preach that gospel.
That's right. And when we're going for abundance, real abundance, it's the richness of our life. It's turning our life into a feast.
Yes.
That's a choice. That's your new story. Write that down. Chapter 1, My Feast Begins Today. All right, so bring it, girlfriend.
Boom, throws down the mic. What do you want to know now?
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Oh. Oh, God, I don't want to grow up.
Okay, so we've determined that Mia Voss is indeed a Toys R Us kid,
Yeah.
as I am. And when people ask me that question, I just say deliriously happy. So,
Yeah. It's surfing. You know, it was funny when I did that back on that mastermind group that I was in. One of their big things was finding out your big why, and I'm sure everybody out there's thought about that. You know, like what lights you up. What do you, not your mission statement for your business, but what's
yes.
your personal credo? And so it was funny. You know, again with this group, I really didn't fit in. You know, everybody had this like sort of uber Mother Teresa. Kind of thing, and mine was like live large, have fun. And when I said it, at the meeting, and I've got a couple iterations of it, but when I said it at the meeting, I remember just thinking I sounded like such an asshole, like because everybody's was like this philanthropic, like sackcloth and ashes kind of thing, but then I realized, oh, go ahead.
No, you first.
I realized that when I'm doing the live large, have fun, that's when I'm living in purpose. And everything flows out from there. So that's my enthusiasm of having a good time. And probably one of my best examples of that I felt like was one of my better guests or shows that I presented was when I was able to talk with Temple Grandin, and just nerded out on her. I mean, the how that happened is like reaching out on her website, and she literally just calls me, and I'm in Safeway going, holy shit, I'm talking to Temple Grandin, I'm in Safeway, right? Just like, having this moment of the ease of it, of her enthusiasm, and then sharing that with people. And I can't remember who it was in my audience, and I apologize because I thought it was the most magical moment was they shared either my video or they shared her TED Talk, which was The World Needs All Kinds of Minds, and said, I don't know, I didn't know who Temple Grandin was and why Mia kept talking about it, but I trust her and I knew it was going to be something good. And then he was all kinds of lit up about her message and, being just deliriously successful as a functioning autistic and a professor and changing the world. Like, dude, that throws down the mic. Like, that's me living large and having fun because I so enjoyed it. So when I got that realization and really embraced it and sort of the messiness of it and that people may not understand it, things got better.
Well,
also,
and
I realized that, oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, here's the important piece is that, again, it was so big you couldn't fit yourself into it, and so you felt kind of dorky.
Yeah.
You had a derp moment.
Yeah.
And what's the meme again? Live large and
live large, have fun. Mm-hmm.
Well, that is all encompassing because living large, for a lot of people, that's in a sustainable way is inspiring other people.
In a sustainable way. What a great distinction.
In a sustainable way.
Excellent distinction.
And that's first and foremost. That's large. That's big. My juice, my blood comes up when I know I've really served someone and made a difference for them, or
yes.
I've held a space or held a mirror up, and helped them make a new choice where they bust out of their imaginary jail room or cage.
Yeah.
And again, that goes back to why are we here? Well, first and foremost, we're here to lift each other up, to love each other, have compassion first for ourselves and then for others, because anybody you're judging, that's a projection, first and foremost. So play nice, or we'll turn this car around right now and go home. That's what I'm saying.
I jumped out. I lost it out for a second. I heard jump out of the car and go home.
Okay.
Boom.
Yeah, boom. So I am your tiara-wearing proxy host, Georgie Green, and we're talking to Mia Voss. It's the Mindfulness Advantage Show. I'm having so much fun.
Thanks.
And Mia and I made an agreement. Most every other show I do a content strategy session for at least an hour, if not two of those. But we have been collaborating behind the curtain for about 7 or 8 days. And so our conversations that we're having really inform the conversation we're having today. So we're making this shit up as we go along.
Yeah.
And it's like, nothing up my sleeve, presto, here's a rabbit out of my my hat or something. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of. I'm a system guy. I'm a planner, and but I trust the synergy that we're already developing, me and I, through our friendship and our collaborations.
Yeah.
And we're inviting you, friends, to get out there and bump some elbows, get some hangouts, private hangouts, get to know your friends out there. It's happening. Google Plus is this amazing nest of visionaries and badass, cool-ass people.
It is.
And, you know, I think it's a great place to play and to leverage our ability to make a better world and a better legacy for ourselves and our friends and our extended family.
Can I talk to that point real quick on the Google Plus love? I mean, this whole trip is like, you know, half of this trip is all based on relationships that I built from Google Plus. So of course Nazim and Elizabeth are a huge part of it. I mean, that's who I'm going to be actually celebrating the birthday with. Is I'll be with them in Milan, and we're going to do a show that day too. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
On Sunday. And then another relationship, one of my first influencers that I became friends with was Pio Dalcin. And he's been on the Plus since the beginning. And so I'm literally going to go from, you know, the arms of Nazim and Betty, and they're going to put me on the train, and I'm going to go right over to Treviso and hang out with Pio for 3 or 4 days, and he's really has their town sort of rolling out the red carpet for me so I can do shows. And again, this is all based on Google Plus. But what I love, Pio posted an interview from us, oh gosh, like about 1.5 years ago, because Bob was in it. It was awesome. Rest in peace, our little Bob. I gotta get a little container for him, by the way, because this is a little too heavy to take on the plane, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's got to be secure.
Yeah, I gotta get a little. I might do like a little contact case. What's in there, lady? Bob, my dead cat. So.
Mia Voss, dead cat lady.
Exactly. But Pio, you know, we talked. I was watching it the other day, and we literally talked about, hey, Pio, we're gonna come out. I'm gonna hang out. We're gonna drink prosecco together, and it was so cool to watch that the other day and go, that's gonna happen. Right. And it's from a relationship that's online that we're taking to the next level.
Yeah. You know, I am just resurrected and reinvigorated being here on this platform. Years ago, back before Facebook IPO'd, it was the Wild West. It was a little bit like Google Plus is, but without the culture. And I was kind of a one-trick pony. You know, my engagement, my business was based on Facebook, and as they narrowed the pipe, so did my business dry up. When I came here, I really realized on the Plus it's a different planet. And when in Rome, kids, when in Rome. And when you're in Italy, right? Italy. So we're blessed with the ability to have these conversations and build relationships. And I love the hangouts in real life, the fact that that's happening. And people are going across the country.
Yeah.
To meet this person who they've been talking to here on the interwebs.
Oh, yeah, I've done that tons of times in the last year. It's been wonderful.
Yeah. And, you know, beyond just connecting with people on Google+, I use private hangouts on air for my training and my client partners. And, my God, I mean, I'm so blessed. We have a bigger, greater relationship than coach or mentor and client. We have cultivated a great love and respect for each other, and you know, I count every one of my client partners as a good friend, as well as maintaining our professional relationship. We have clear boundaries. That's a really important thing to say, and this all happens because of this shiny technology we're on today. So we're coming up on the end of the hour. I'm going to go back to some comments. We got Ray A. Miller in the house.
Hi, Ray.
And Ray says Bob Voss was one badass cool kitty.
He was. Thank you.
And, you know, he had a badass mama, Mia. Mama Mia!
Hey!
Let's see, what else? Nazim says, counting the days. Where'd you go, Nazim? It's jumping all over the place here.
Shocker.
Anyway, T-minus 8 days and counting.
Amen.
Who
I
else
can't
do we
wait.
have here?
Oh, it's gonna be good.
Peter Feltham.
Hey, Peter.
Fun is so important, Mia Voss. Totally agree. If you ever make it to the UK, you should visit my favorite artist community by the coast, full of feisty ladies, musicians, dancers, artists. You'd love it.
Yeah,
Holy crap.
no kidding. That's got
All
my
right.
name all over it. Next.
We're packing right now.
All right.
Jesus. Yeah.
Next.
Bring out the guest linens because we're camping out on your couch or your extra
Right.
bedroom.
You
So,
asked for it, Peter.
so what I love to do here at the end before our final segment, your moments in mindfulness, is to invite you to send out a call to inspiration and a call to action. This is our opportunity and my invitation to Mia to take her opportunity to light some fire, shake some trees, bust some moves, and get you off the bench and into the game in a really shiny way. So take it away, Mia, and get your inspire on.
This is where prep work would have been handy. I gotta think some shit up. Let me see what I can pull out of nowhere. I think it's definitely define what lights you up. And I think there's a lot to be said for writing something down. There's just so many people I've been working with, you for one, a couple other coaches, and a lot of inspiring people in my life. And the theme I'm finding is definitely setting intention and writing things down. I've been listening to a ton of Abraham Hicks, so that would be one thing I would also say is go check out Abraham Hicks. And if you're not familiar with it, it's kind of kooky. But it's Esther and Jerry Hicks, and she channels the spirit of Abraham. Yeah, that's right. I said it.
Boom.
And I don't mean Lincoln. I mean Old Testy Testament Lincoln, or Abraham. And, it's just, I've been really fired up by that, but it's really made me set a lot of intention about what lights me up. And then everything kind of goes from there. And I hope that's not too, woo-woo bouldery.
It's not.
You live in Boulder.
I do live in Boulder, and it's not too woo-woo because it's science. You know, what's coming out now is the bleeding edge new field of neuroscience called contemplative neurophysiology. Mindfulness is now catching fire and has been for 2 or 3 years.
Mindfulness is catching fire.
The corporate cultures are being transformed. We've got things like John Mackey, the CEO, co-CEO of Whole Foods, co-authored a book called Conscious Capitalism.
Yeah, I saw him speak last year about that. It's pretty amazing.
So it's not woo-woo. People are waking up to a better and more sustainable way of living and relating.
Yeah.
And first and foremost, what we're talking about is returning. It's what I call the remembrance. Our remembrance is returning to our most essential conversation. Which is the conversation we have with our true self, our heart, our higher power, God, Bob, universe, whatever you want to call it, and beloved, our beloved with a capital B. What lights you up, friends? What do you love? What's most important? What matters most to you? And to requote Dr. Wayne Dyer, I love this quote. Doesn't matter who you are, if you're sweeping streets or making burgers or you're a C-level executive or you're a CEO, his invitation and our invitation is to love everything you do on your way to doing what you love. So, one, thank you, sister, for being naked. I'm gonna do a reveal. At least half my shows I do, and I'm not wearing any pants, so I'm not standing up today.
What's on the bottom?
What's on the bottom. That's either true or not. I'll leave it up to you to scratch your head and wonder.
You can just say, as far as you know.
Well, I just like the freedom, you know what I'm saying? So, Mia, thank you so much for being willing to be open and vulnerable.
Thank you.
We love you. I love you. You're adorable, and I love your humanity, and I love your vision.
Thank you, brother.
And your big boss. Your boss that you're going to take your boss to Italy?
In a ball sack. Is that a
That's what-
carry-on?
Ah! Oh my God! You just tipped off the airlines, man. They're going to be charging dudes from here on out.
Right, I know.
Well, two
That's
bags.
extra carry-on. That's too bad.
That counts as 2 bags there. So,
And they say, what, D's nuts? Yes.
these nuts? Are you nuts, Ming? So,
Woo.
and it's good that we can be serious like this on
You're
occasion.
right, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lighten up, Francis.
So thank you so much, Mia.
Thank you,
if
brother.
possible, let's figure out if we can, if you're open to it, in a really spontaneous manner, if there is a window for you to come back on outside of my usual timing, so we can follow up with you, maybe a 50 Fabulous in Italy, Mia check-in.
Yeah,
If we
sounds
can make
great.
that happen, let's do it, and we'll let all our friends know so they can come in and join us. And it more than likely may be an evening show, so we'll
No,
all-
it'll be during the day. No, because I mean we're gonna have to just be warned that there's a lot of drinking and eating going on there. So it
I
could
was
be
going to say yay
the
wine.
the buzzed out. What's
Yeah.
up? That's the kind of show. That
Get
sounds
your-
fun, doesn't it?
Going to get your mange on there. So
See,
thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you
Thank you for
for
having me on.
allowing me to carry your tiara for an hour.
it's weighty. I know it. How you feeling?
I'm a better man for it. I'll
You
tell you that right
are.
now.
You are
I'm feeling. I'm
fierce,
feeling my wolf medicine coming out.
super fierce.
Yeah, with my tiara. So, hello. All right. So, thanks to Mia Voss for being on the show and coming back sometime while she's in Italy. Italy. And thank you for sharing your Shiro's journey with us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
And now it's time for your moments of mindfulness. Normally, I'll think about this and write this, but Mia and I, have been so much on the spontaneous dime, dancing on the edge of a razor,
Mhm.
that I'm just going to vamp it today. One, I am inspired by our friend. And through our collaboration and playing and working together, again, as I said before, I'm remembering who I am in a deeper way, as Mia is embracing her deeper truth and courage and her badass balls out vision. So my call to inspiration and action is get your tiara on, damn it.
Everybody,
Okay.
everybody.
Right. Play out, full out, balls out.
Yeah.
One of our agreements is that we, and HT, hat tip to Robert Tennyson Stevens, my friend Bobby, our commitment is we're going to play all in today. That's 125%. Tomorrow, our 125 will become the ground we stand on 100%. So our victories, yes, they're connected to some great vision, a long-tail strategy of building a better life for ourselves and each other. But those strategies require one step in front of the other. When we build our new mansion of consciousness and relationship, we start with a foundation and we build our new world, our new story, brick by brick, layer by layer, until we have a magnificent sanctuary that we operate from. That's what I call the inner palace of your heart. That's what Mia has shared with us today. It's what I'm sharing with you. And we're inviting you, be bold. Blow your hair back. Step out of your comfort zones. And the reality is, we're in agreement here. We are being called up and out. All of us. The people, you've heard me say this before on the show, the people that you and I consider to be models of excellence and mastery are just as human as we are. And when I talk to them, they're like, I'm stepping into my biggest dream, and I'm scared shitless. Because at the same time, what's being required of us as we design and embrace and embody our greatest purpose and dreams is to sit with the deepest, darkest bits of our shadow, and not in a way that we're doing battle anymore or we're fearful of it. We have to learn how to make friends with our fear, our doubt, our shadow, our history. And as Mia said today, travel light. Our job is to surrender our past to our past and travel light. So get in your hot rod, turn the key, stomp on the gas, and see in the rear view mirror your past getting smaller and smaller and smaller until it, poof, it's gone. And you're on a brand new road that's flat and straight, or curvy if you like to, zoom around the corners a little bit. The idea is to make it up along the way and have as much fun as you can, even to the point where it might feel a little bit illegal.
Yeah.
I'm not condoning breaking the law, but get your stretch on. So, again, I'm just so delighted and honored to say that we are friends, to claim you as one of my dear friends, a brand new friend.
Yep.
And thank you for, again, bringing your courage and your story to our show today. You have been watching the Mindfulness Advantage Show. I'm your host, George E. Green, the silver-haired goober. We'll see you next time. Thanks for being with us, friends. And one last thing, there's so many comments. We're going to be working that stream the rest of the day and into tomorrow. The conversation has just begun, friends. So I'm going to throw up the YouTube link in the comment stream. Come on over to YouTube and pick up the conversation there, because we plan on sharing our enthusiasm and inspiration today until the cows come home.
Amen.
Yeah.
Can I give a quick shout out to Dawn Swick Renshaw, who sent this to me, and I'm taking it with me to Italy. It's my little, we have matching heart necklaces. Her birthday's close to mine, so thank you for this, girlfriend.
Well, happy birthday, Dawn.
Thank you, dear.
And
yes.
Everybody, party starts now. So
Amen.
Get your goober on. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank
y'all.
you.